We're going to head now to Shreveport.
Yes, Mike McDaniel's joining us now live, where we just heard a little bit from Mike Johnson, who just gave his victory speech. Of course, everyone taking a look at this race because we're talking about the makeup of Congress right now,
Yes.
and how important that is. And he said it's still kind of on the fence right now.
Yeah, because really Mike Johnson's race is not really part of the concern here tonight for these supporters, as well as Mike Johnson himself. He just took to the podium a little while ago talking about calling other congressional Republicans across the country who are winning their races, talking to them. He got off the phone with Steve Scalise, congratulated him on his race. But of course, it all comes down to Mike Johnson, not for the 4th district seat. It is his speakership in the House of Representatives. He currently has been there for about a year right now, thrust into the spotlight after Kevin McCarthy, the former speaker, was ousted by his fellow Republicans. Mike Johnson told the crowd here a while ago that that was not what he intended to do, to become House Speaker. It was kind of an accident for him. Never did he realize 10 years ago when he was attorney here in Shreveport that he would, A, be elected to Congress, and then secondly, become House Speaker. But you can tell from his tone tonight, what he told his supporters, that he does want that job moving forward. That's why he spent the past 11 months, almost a year, traveling around this country, campaigning and raising money for a lot of Republicans who were going up for those congressional seats. He did tell the crowd tonight that he was very optimistic when it comes to not only the House keeping the majority and then expanding on it, but also flipping the Senate and winning the White House. So that's where his mind is right now. He is up in the war room, as he calls it, here at the hotel, keeping an eye on all of these races, kind of seeing how everything plays out. He said that he also will probably head to Mar-a-Lago to be with President Donald Trump, former President Trump, tonight, as he kind of watches those results as well. He says his biggest inspiration and biggest joy in all of this, of course, is representing the folks here in the 4th District. But when you become the first House Speaker from Louisiana, you also have the Majority Whip Steve Scalise, also from Louisiana. That's a big deal when it comes to this state. So they want to maintain that type of power, and that's something he's not looking back on. He told supporters here tonight as well, he thanked them for what they've been able to do, because it all comes down to people showing up to the polls, getting out to vote, and that's, as we have seen, been a big turnout for a lot of folks across this country, not just here in Louisiana. Folks here have been out in force tonight, supporting him on the rooftop here at the Remington. You can see, well, you can't see it, but it's over to my left. There are 2 big screens as these results come in. You kind of hear some cheers every now and then as certain races are called, kind of going through the different states and searching them all. So a lot of enthusiasm here in downtown Shreveport when it comes to Mike Johnson and his campaign, but of course the bigger picture, will he maintain control of the House when it comes to House Speaker? And he believes he will. Live in Shreveport, Mike McDaniel, WWL Louisiana, guys.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for that update.
We're going to head now to Whitney Miller. She is at a race that has not been clearly decided yet. That is the newly established District 6, where Cleo Fields is running. And that's the headquarters where Whitney is tonight in Baton Rouge.
Even though that hasn't been established,
I don't know what you just said, but are you talking about they're jamming back here? I think that's what you might have said. I'm not sure. But they got the line dances going. I'm here with Representative Dustin Miller of District 40, correct? And this has been a kind of an interesting race just because of the number of Democrats that have been running. And so just what he's projected to win, it seems. So tell us what you think how the night's going to end.
Listen, the campaign is still watching every number because it's going to come down to the final, and look, we're prepared for whatever the results is. Senator Fields is content to keep working, and he wants all voters. He don't not only want Democrats, but he want to work Republicans. So we're going to keep working this, keep seeing how the numbers are going to turn out. I think it's good because the majority remaining in the balance of the voters are from EBR. So I think we're going to be okay. But look, we're prepared for whatever tonight has. We're just happy that we're running a strong race, and we're going to fight it to the end.
I've been trying to get him out here. Is there a reason why he's still back there?
Like I said, we're watching every number, and we're not taking anything for granted. That's, if you know Senator Fields, that's who he is. But he'll be right down here as soon as this is over with. He's going to enjoy the festivities, and we're going to see what tomorrow brings him.
So he's making sure he got it in the bag.
Definitely, that's what we're doing.
And when it comes to, this is a big election nationally. What are you hearing from the constituents about just the election itself?
Listen, the constituents in this new district wants representation. They're happy to finally have someone that's an African American like themselves to be able to represent a majority black district. Now we're going to have 2 black congressmen representing us in the state of Louisiana. So they're excited. they're happy. But if you look at the race, you had a lot of blacks, Democrats, Republicans, more Democrats than Republicans. So Senator Fields, what he did was he continued to separate himself, showed that he was the candidate with experience. He had 4 years of congressional experience, and he showed us that he's ready to deliver to the people. He took his campaign to the people. I think his slogan was Fields for Us. So he went all across the district every day. He wasn't a candidate who just hired consultants and let them go everywhere. He wanted to be hands-on. And tonight, I think the results is going to show that Senator Fields worked his butt off all the way from East Baton Rouge to Caddo.
It's getting louder in here because I think they're feeling like the party's almost over or just getting started.
That 50.1 is getting a little closer and closer, baby.
You need the 50.1. You heard it here first. They need 50.1 to feel confident to come out here. I know y'all feel confident, but...
Listen, I feel confident, but we're taking nothing for granted, and we're prepared for whatever the results show us. We're prepared for whatever the citizens and the constituents want us to do. If we got to wake up in the morning and start working some more for a runoff, we're prepared for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, I'll send it back to you in the studio, and we're going to hope that he comes down soon.
All right, yeah. You would think that he would be coming down soon. It's been a while, and I think you both you, Ron, and Clancy have said we think Cleo Fields is going to win it outright tonight and avoid a runoff.
Yeah, and I think that's still the case, but he's only at 50%, and it's hard for a candidate to go out there until he's got enough votes in to lock it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're obviously watching the presidential race here in the studio as well, just like everyone else at home, and in addition to keeping tabs on those congressional races. But Ron, you know, I think there have been a lot of surprises tonight as we've seen these numbers come in. Yeah,
well, first of all, I've been looking at a few things. One thing I'd like to hit on that we haven't talked about is the race for mayor president in Baton Rouge. That's one of the most important mayors in the state.
Yeah.
And the incumbent, Mayor Sharon Weston Broome, who's an African-American Democrat, is running second right now.
Wow.
The Republican coach Sid Edwards, he's the coach at Estruma High School, he's running first. And there's another candidate, Ted James, who is a Democratic legislator, African-American, who's running a very close third. So that's a really hot race. And it looks like it's going into a runoff.
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting tonight. It'll be a shocker out of Baton Rouge if that's the case.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the presidential race, you know, as we're seeing, it's turning out the way the polls showed. It's very close.
Very close.
Right now, it looks like Trump is ahead maybe in 5 of the swing states. Some of the networks are beginning to say they think Harris can carry Pennsylvania, which could be critical, but Trump still has a little lead right now in more swing states than she does. So that's off to the races. Yeah.
Off to the races, yeah, that's right. I think, you know, pundits are pontificating all over the place whether or not those tiny margins of victory in some of those states, how they're going to end up at the end of the night.
Well, that's why I have this gray hair here. I've had too many election nights.
But you love it, don't you? It's like the Super Bowl for these guys.
No, it is. It is.
All right. Well, Clancy is standing by too because he's got some more analysis for us on our numbers. Clancy.
Yeah, I'm looking at Louisiana, a sea of red with just a little bit of blue. But let's look at president nationally because, Ron, you're talking about the swing states, and I'm going to highlight here the swing states: Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and then let's look at Arizona and Nevada as well. Those are all states that are pretty close. And as we take a closer look at them, it's not going to give us the totals, but it's going to give us who's ahead by how much. In Arizona, with half the votes counted, Donald Trump is ahead by 2,200 votes. Well, that's not much of a lead. And the one thing we can say that we know is going to be true, the urban vote, which is very much going to favor Harris and other Democrats, comes in late. It comes in last. So with 50% of the estimated vote total, Donald Trump's ahead by 2,300 votes. Just as the polls show, Arizona is the flip of a coin. Georgia, looking better for Donald Trump. He's ahead with 90% of the estimated vote total. He's ahead by 141,000 votes. But if Fulton County isn't in yet, or a lot of votes in Fulton County, which is Atlanta, and the suburbs around Atlanta, if that vote comes in late, this could get very close, and it could go either way. And that's where it came down to that last time, where it took several days for the mail-in ballots and everything else to come in from Atlanta. And in the end, Joe Biden won by less than 12,000 votes. So it could come down to something like that again. It could be in Trump's favor, it could be in Harris's favor. Right now, it's still pretty close. Michigan, Trump's ahead, but it's only 26%. Don't have anything from Nevada. North Carolina, Trump is, comfortably ahead, but we don't know if all the votes from Charlotte are in yet. Pennsylvania, where a lot of people feel Harris is going to do well, Philadelphia is nowhere near complete yet, so we don't know what's going to happen there. Same thing in Wisconsin. So although Trump's ahead on all these states right now, we're getting the Trump vote in early, and we'll see what happens when all of the votes are in.
All right, thank you so much, Clancy, and of course, Dekaney. We've been following along with this coverage, and the numbers have been, I've been looking at the conversation on social media right now, and Clancy adding some clarity for some people who had some confusion over the numbers that are being called yet.
Yeah, definitely. And we've also, one of the races that we knew pretty early on was going to be called was the race for congressional candidate Steve Scalise's reelection, and he was reelected tonight. We're going to go back out to Paul Murphy in Metairie, where he is covering the Scalise campaign tonight. Paul.
Congressman Steve Scalise has been reelected by a wide margin tonight to another 2-year term in Washington. He spoke to his supporters a short while ago, thanking the people of Southeast Louisiana for their another opportunity to serve them in Washington. He talked about creating new energy jobs. He talked about helping to bring down the cost of flood insurance. He also talked about working to secure our borders. Again, he said that he is anxious to get back to work, and that he thanked the people in his district for giving him another opportunity to serve. And a lot of folks here are very happy mood here in the Scalise headquarters. The congressman is making his rounds of the media. We did an interview with him a short while ago as well, and he's also talking to some of his supporters. We're live at the Steve Scalise headquarters in Metairie. Paul Murphy, WWL Louisiana.
All right, Paul, thank you so much.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will be with you coming up for WWL Louisiana News at 10.